This is WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
The horse, with beauty unsurpassed, strength immeasurable, and grace unlike any other, still remains humble enough to carry a man upon its back. When a service member or first responder takes an oath, he or she has mentally and physically committed themselves with self-sacrifice. From the front lines abroad to the very streets you live on in America, they protect. This oath is non-refundable and it is lifelong. Facing unimaginable dangers and unseen scars, these grounds are a place to recover and face any challenges head-on. As veterans and first responders ourselves, we know that battle all too well. From a simple talk with a friend on horseback to an entire debrief in the barn, this sanctuary has seen recovery take place time and time again. No hour of life is wasted that is spent in a saddle. The way we approach change isn't a new phenomenon. This animal has been with humans over 5,000 years. If you've ever been around a horse for long enough, you'll feel that thing, that electric trust. In that moment, nothing else is in your mind. When they turn into you, it's like the world disappears. We harness that moment to build skills off of. Repurposing requires flexibility, adaptability, and the willingness to challenge assumptions and conventional thinking. This approach can be applied to many areas in life, including business, education, and personal growth. To ride a horse is to fly without wings. This lesson and skills learned at War Horses will help reintegrate back into daily life. You'll learn coping mechanisms, improved communication skills, trust and confidence that will help reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. These tools can be used every day to navigate life and take on many challenges. This may involve practicing mindfulness, setting boundaries, improving communication with loved ones. Transitioning back to society is hard on your own. And when you're at War Horses, you're family. And families solve problems together.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
I can feel this in my ears. What is happening?
The voice of U.S. Army WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
All right, everybody, let's get this Friday started. Got all the right buttons mashed. Intro music is playing, and here we go, man. Let's get this Friday Night Freedom started. What's going on, everybody? My name is KOZ, and up there is POOKY. And this is our presentation of Friday Night Freedom here on Friday, obviously, right? Yeah. End of the week. Boy, what a week has it been. I can't fucking believe it. Lots of crap in the news. We'll talk about some of it. But today is the 12th day of May already.
12th of May.
2023.
Already.
I have, and just in case anybody's wondering, I'm feeling fine. I recovered nicely from last week's show. I did have to write something about this. Last week I got a little bit ahead of, this is, oh my gosh. Wow, I guess I erased it.
Oh,
I had this thing all written up. I'm just like, anyway, I had a great time last week. I introduced a new thing to the show, which was a bottle of tequila, and I only had two drinks out of it, maybe a total of 3 shots out of it. But at the end of the show, things were kind of getting not blurry. You know how you look at words on paper and you're like, okay, I know how to say that word. I know how it's supposed to sound, and then it just doesn't come out correctly. So That was I wouldn't say it was a mistake. I think it was something that I will choose to do a little more carefully in the future. How about that? I learned my lesson. It was fun because boy, that was some good tequila. But I only had two drinks out of it, and it was delicious. It was absolutely great. So if you hate tequila, that means you probably hate cheap tequila. You spend the money for the good stuff, and you will not be disappointed.
I just stay away from the hard liquor nowadays.
I really want to have a bottle of, now that I'd like that tequila, I'm probably going to keep a bottle of the really good tequila in, and I'm trying to get a bottle of Blanton's. I had some Blanton's when I was at my brother's house. He has a couple of bottles of it, and it's just really good. He's in sales, and he uses that when he treats his customers, and it's really good. It's a really, really good tasting whiskey. And or bourbon or whatever the fuck it is. It's good. So I'm trying to get a bottle of Blanton's, but it's like they don't sell it in the stores. You got to order it, and they'll ship it to your house. Well, here in Texas, you can receive liquor in the mail, but you got to be there to accept it. So I'm trying to. I haven't tried very hard, but I'm gonna talk to our local liquor store, saying, hey, if I get it shipped here, can I just pick it up here? I'll give you some cash. So we'll see how that goes. It's really good if you guys have had it. Tell me about it. I've only had it once. I think it's really good. Tell me what you think. So last week I got a little bit ahead of myself. I like to do I like to do a little bit of promo before the end of the show, because that's when the most people are here. A lot of people show up at the beginning and then they fade out, and we're down to a lesser number at the end. So I'm going to try to get all this stuff out on the front end. So just to begin, we do have shows 6 nights a week. The Sports Bar is on Sunday. Monday edition is on Monday. Pop Culture Warrior is on Tuesday. The Smoke Pit is on Wednesday. Sergeant's Time is on Thursday. And then Friday Night Freedom will occur on, of course, Fridays.
Friday.
My schedule has changed. So starting this week, we are going to be doing every other week. So we're having a show this week, and we're not going to have a show next week. And then we'll have a show the following week. And then the following week, we won't have a show. Kind of like that. So last week, I got a little bit ahead of myself, and I was announcing our future guests. I mistakenly said that Vanessa Marshall was going to be on this past Tuesday. Vanessa will be on this Tuesday on Pop Culture Warrior. So Vanessa is an American voice and television actor who is mostly active in films, animated films, and video games. And she's a badass. And if the Pop Culture Warrior just happens to be around, I really want to know, because I was looking at her resume, and she has her credentials are just through the roof. She's extremely accomplished. Very educated, and she's a certified badass because she is a ranked Thai and French kickboxing fighter. So I was wondering if she still maybe recreationally punches people in the face. That is my question for our guest on Tuesday, Miss Vanessa Marshall. Oh, Sunday's going to be on fire. Oh, I've got a sports question for you. I got into a sports conversation with someone. Let me finish this, and then I'll get to that. But on the 23rd, we are excited to announce that Joe Mantegna is going to be on the show. It's going to be a pre-recorded interview. He's going to be paying us a visit on Pop Culture Warrior. Joe has been in the entertainment industry for as long as I have been alive. His credits are too numerous to list, but you might recognize The Godfather, Part 3, Xanadu, Airheads, The Money Pit. He voices the character Fat Tony in The Simpsons and was a mainstay on the television series Criminal Minds, both as an actor and a director between 2009 and 2014. So that's happening not this coming Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. So wow. I'm really excited because he's like always he's a great actor. He's always the badass. He always plays a badass. Especially Fat Tony's funny. And he's really into, I think there's only been 1 or 2 episodes where Fat Tony was on The Simpsons, but he was not played by Joe Mantegna. He was played by, an actor that just recently passed. Anyway, he couldn't do the spot, so this other fella did the spot. But Joe Mantegna is awesome, man. He's really cool. can't wait to see them. So don't forget, Mother's Day is on Sunday. Don't forget your mother. Okay, I'm going to say this here on the front end. I'm going to have a Mother's Day thing on the back end. I don't care if you get along with her or not. She deserves a happy Mother's Day. I know, people have stuff in their families where I hate my mom or I hate my dad, but they're still your mom and they're still your dad. I don't care if they're your stepmom or your stepdad or whatever. They took time to take care of you and be responsible for you and stuff. So a happy Mother's Day would be a very, very nice. I got in trouble last year because I didn't send my mother a happy Mother's Day card, and I heard about it from my dad. So I made sure that I sent my mother a happy Mother's Day card because I would call her and talk to her. And my dad's just like, and normally I would send a card or something, but I just didn't. Either I was busy or I just blew it off or something like that. But Dad's like, you didn't send Mom a card this year. She didn't say anything about it, but I'm sure she's hurt by it. I'm like, oh, so that kind of hit me in the chest a little bit. So send your, at least, I mean, it's too late to send a letter or a card or anything, but just give your mom a call if you're nearby. Go stop by, take her out to dinner, take her out to lunch, give her a hug or whatever. But anyway, that's that.
You know what my mother did?
What did your mom do?
She went and bought a tiller, right? For me, a garden tiller, because she wants me to build her the garden. So that's like, okay, well, I'm gonna give you a gift, but I'm gonna get the gift back. And I was like, well, I guess that makes sense. You're putting me to work, but all right.
That's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. That's actually very smart.
So she's like, I want to get you something, and then I'll get something in return in the long run. So I was like, all right, it works out.
So I heard a rumor. This is my former in-laws, and I can't remember if this was a Christmas rumor or a Mother's Day rumor. Maybe it was Christmas, but I heard, and I haven't received confirmation. I probably will never. That my father-in-law got my mother-in-law a case, like a Costco case of Windex, for either Christmas or Mother's Day.
Dear Lord.
And he's still above ground, so I guess it wasn't too horrible, but that's horrible. That's like getting a vacuum cleaner. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh dear Lord.
There's been no attempted murders or anything like that. So let's talk about this sports show. The sports bar on Sunday is going to be fire. King Smith here is like, hey, it's going to be fire. I had a conversation talking about the Rangers, the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers are fucking hot right now. Okay, they're winning really good games. They're playing very, very well right now. So in a conversation, it was on one of the ESPN chats. They're like, are they contenders? They're throwing out the word contender. I'm like, dude, the season just started. Give it a break. And then I thought about my answer for a little bit because the New York Yankees are playing like trash right now. I'm like, it is way too early in the season to call the Texas Rangers contenders or to even count the New York Yankees out. It's just, everyone's excited right now. It's like when you start a new project, everyone's got this new energy and stuff. It's really hard to base your entire performance on the way that you're beginning a project. What happens and what sets the champions away from the non-champions is to start the season with the same, and to end the season the same with the same energy as you started it with. It's just the Texas Rangers. I love them. They're my team. I mean, they're right down the street. I love going to games. They got this big, beautiful stadium, and the last time I was in it is when I got one of my COVID shots. My first COVID shot was there. But they're fun. They're a fun team to watch, and I love them, and I'll always be a fan. They usually the wheels come off after the All-Star break. They might play really, really well, and then the All-Star break, the All-Star break happens, and then they come back from that, and then all of a sudden everyone forgets how to play baseball. Pitchers forget how to throw strikes. or they throw these softballs and they just get cranked out of the park. So it's way too early in the season to say, yeah, the Texas Rangers are going all the way. Although we say that kind of every year for the Cowboys.
It's like Redskins. Well, they're not Redskins. What are they called now?
Commanders.
Yeah.
You know what they could have gotten away with is changing their logo to a red potato and still call them the Redskins. And it's like, no, we're not Indians. We're potatoes.
I guess. I don't know.
Save all that money and rebranding and stuff.
Living in the D.C. area for a while, Washington Commanders, Redskins at the time, oh, they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. They're going to win the Super Bowl. And live this super fantasy, and you're just like, all right.
I appreciate your enthusiasm. I find it very, very hard to get excited about sports. I mean, right now the Dallas Stars are really doing good. They're playing the Seattle Kraken. I'm not a hockey fan. I've never been to I've been to a hockey game. I went to a Chicago Blackhawks game when I was in high school. But I've never really been a fan of hockey. Is the Seattle Kraken, is that like, did they just rename their team?
I think that was a recent rename. Honestly, I think it was. I've been like, I love hockey, but I've been out of pro hockey for so long. Like, I'm more of like the guys, the AAA, like semi-pro kind of. That's where real hockey's at.
Yeah, it's because they want to play. They're not playing for the bucks. It's not. I mean, I think hockey is probably one of the most the least compensated athletes play hockey.
Yeah,
they don't make baseball money. They don't make football money.
So it's like, I've been to a bunch of the
Sports Bar. Sports Bar says the Kraken are an expansion team. Okay.
Oh, it's expansion.
You would think Seattle would have a professional hockey team, because they're up there close-ish to Canada and stuff. Okay. Learn something new every day. And I'm going to learn more after watching the Sports Bar on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, check out our shows, man. We used to just have a few shows. Now we got all these shows. Just keep in mind, Friday Night Freedom will be on every other week starting next week. So we're on this week. We're not going to be on next week. I got some stuff going on at work. I got my time is being occupied by work, and I just can't do it. I can't get home at 6:45, 7 o'clock in the evening and do a show. It's just not. That's not the way I roll. Does it happen? Yes, it does, but not with me. So there's lots going on. There's lots going on this week, and I'm wondering about. I'm going to ask you about it because I saw you post about it. The Trump town hall. Lots of talk about the Trump town hall on CNN of all places. It only had roughly 3 million viewers, but a lot of folks are talking about it. And something tells me that the fire I see on the internet is coming from the people who didn't see the town hall, but they're just carrying the torch of the of Trump hatred forward. Did you see it?
I saw bits and pieces of it.
Was it as much of a shit show as they're saying, or I don't know. I didn't see anything. I haven't seen any clips or nothing like that.
Well, it was kind of borderline like this. Is CNN brought Trump on for ratings. That's the best way I could put it. But then they had a knee-jerk reaction because their audience was like applauding him, laughing at his jokes. Oh, and I mean, he was very well spoken, and I guess the moderator, whatever her name was asking questions, and he actually said, "You're a nasty bitch," pretty much to her face at that point.
She's so pretty.
Well, I mean, it was more along the lying aspect of things. It was like,
I saw that. You're a nasty person.
Yeah, but I mean, he's just spitting facts and what he would do, and they were asking him about Ukraine, like. Do you want Ukraine to win the war? He's like, I don't want to see a win or a loss. I want people to stop freaking dying. He said that, and everyone was clapping and applauding,
Okay, pause there for a second, because the reporting coming out there is like Trump wouldn't say whether he wants Russia or Ukraine to win, as though he was like afraid to say something sideways against either of them.
I mean, the way he said it, though, it was kind of like, it was intelligent the way he said it. Like, war sucks, man. People dying sucks. You see Ukraine right now all jacked up. Russia had no business going in there to doing it. But I mean, he said within 24 hours he'd have the whole thing. Well, you know how he is about exaggerating shit.
Oh, right.
But,
I'd have it done in 5 minutes, and it would be glorious.
It'd be glorious. You know, I'd bring Zelensky and Putin to the table. We'd be done in 24 hours. And you know,
someone needs to moderate that fucking conflict. Somebody needs to.
Well, I mean, he said. Well, I think he even said this would have never happened if I was elected, if I was the president.
I believe that. I do believe that. I do believe that. I don't think the world right now, what we're seeing right now, would be as squirrely as it is if we had a strong leadership team in the White House. I'm not saying Donald Trump. I'm saying a strong leadership team.
Phil's right in there. She said something about his. He started talking about the January. She started asking January 6th shit. Started saying something. He's like, "Oh, hold on, I gotta pull the documents out." He reached into his suit, pulled out receipts.
Oh no!
Damn. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yes.
It's almost like he was probably anticipating
he knew.
them. Yeah.
He knew. He's like, they're gonna get me with this. All right, cool. I got the receipts. Cool. And he read the receipts off, and crowds applauding because he's like, some of those people don't need to be in jail. You know, like locked up, you know, the insurrectionists, whatever it is. He's like, I told them to go home, but some of the people are being punished beyond the need of punishment.
Oh, no shit. They like received sentence of like 20 years and shit.
Yeah. And we're still on the J6 crap. Yeah, no, that we're talking about what Trump was talking about Wednesday. This was what, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
But no, it was interesting. You know, he's witty. You know, I wouldn't want to try to, you know, swing razor blades with him because he'd probably cut me down real quick. I'm pretty witty myself sometimes, but I think he could outwit me. But I mean, he's a businessman, and I'm not a fan of Trump. I'll say this right now, but when he was speaking, I was like, holy crap. CNN fucked up by letting him on.
The thing is, you know, when you bring receipts,
and
it's just like, okay, you can't just say Orange Man bad. You know, okay, whatever, you don't like him, but he's right. Or, you know, and if you can't bring receipts, then okay, fine, he's wrong. I don't think anything. I don't think anything is an accident with him at all. I think he comes very, very prepared. And Anderson Cooper, oh my god,
his monologue last night was just like, what the, you know, like, we're sorry we let this orange man speak and la da 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 da. And woe is us. And if you don't want to watch this ever again, it's like, well.
Yeah, I think his quote was. I think his quote was, "You have every right not to watch this network again." I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Like, all right, you brought him on to the damn network. I caught clips and pieces of it as it was flying across Twitter. You know, I was doing other things, harassing other people. But
which reminds me, and maybe our next show, not next week, but the week following, we can do our trending Twitter, top trending Twitter, our T3 segment, top trending Twitter.
Well,
but I guess it would be top trending Twitter based on what you look at.
It's getting kind of funky right now with Twitter. I guess they're getting a new CEO coming in.
Oh, and we're going to talk about that in 2, 1, 2.
Okay. We'll wait for that. But,
yeah.
No, they're trending. It was like what they said. I think the trending today, it had like something along the lines of like, I think 500,000 posts or something like that. Was Twitter's dead? You know, people are looking into this. You know, woman that Elon. They changed it. They ripped it off there, you know, and it wasn't existed, like 30-minute time frame. It was there and it was gone. So they're already playing fuck games right now, but we can talk about that later.
But the thing is, ever since Elon Musk took over Twitter, I'll bet you can look at the historicals and you can see all the trending, whatever's trending over whatever period of hours. And you know, Twitter is dead is probably going to be top trending 100 times since he took over, if not more. Just people talking shit. I don't think Twitter's dead. I think Twitter is changing. And if this new person, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit, if this new person is good, then and I've got her name and I've got a short piece of the story, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But right now, and this is big news here because I'm in Texas, is the border surge and the end of Title 42. It's kind of a shit show. No, it's not kind of a shit show. It is a shit show. There's no two ways about that. The border surge is underway. Well, it's been underway for a long time. Title 42, under Title 42, anyone wanting to gain entry to the United States from a country with a high percentage of communicable diseases were swiftly turned away. It didn't matter if they wanted to, claim asylum or whatever. They were turned away. It was an easy just no, go away, get out, or stay on the other side of the fence. The Supreme Court of the United States failed to make a definitive ruling on whether Title 42 should remain in place, so it was set to expire 90 days later, and that date was May 11th. That day has come and passed. And now that Title 42 has expired, border management has reverted to the rules dictated under Title 8. Essentially the same thing as Title 42 without the communicable diseases rule and other differences, but they were minor. And Title 8 allows more time for immigrants to lodge asylum claims. Regardless, it's a hot mess at the southern border right now. Over the past 90 days, actually over the past 2 years, the administration has had the time and resources to mitigate this border mess, and we're now seeing that they chose to do nothing. Now, tens of thousands of immigrants, if not more, are massing at the border, not just in Texas, but Arizona, California, are waiting to get in, New Mexico. Today, the Department of Health and Human Services announced that a migrant child had died in their custody. This crap is going to get much worse before it gets better. We still have 18 months left of this administration. If he gets reelected, it's going to get really, really bad. Yesterday, the administration instructed Customs and Border Protection officials to release the migrants into the United States, even if they had not had a court date yet to hear their asylum claims. The action was put on hold by a judge, so we're going to see what happens with that. This is nothing but a legal battle between the administration and then federal judges. And people are just coming. I mean,
I've seen videos.
I see videos, I see pictures, but those are just little captures in time. I know that there's a lot. I mean, there's migrants coming up all the way from, you
got Haiti,
Guatemala. I mean, everywhere.
The whole way out, like Venezuela. It's just insane at this point. But I know what would fix this real quick. I think Governor Abbott down there in Texas has the right idea. Is just, all right, well, grab them on buses, throw them up, or throw them in the. I say get as many as you can and drop them in the National Mall in D.C. and that shit will get fixed overnight, real quick.
There's buses of migrants, illegals coming to the United States, but they're getting bused to communities in Chicago and New York City and sanctuary cities. And even in Chicago, and I should have pulled up the story because it really caveats well with the original story. I mean, they're housing illegal immigrants in schools, in
old schools,
old schools, not like active schools, but old schools that don't have kids anymore, in Chicago, and they're out of room.
Oh, people were losing their minds about it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
Heath Barlow has a good point. A nation that cannot secure its border is not a nation. Who was the what the hell was his name? I don't even know if he does radio anymore. Not the Black Avenger, but borders, language, and culture define a nation. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely believe that. Borders, language, and culture. We've.
I mean, I'm all about helping people out when they need help, but this has turned into a free ticket to ride kind of thing. They come across the border. I've seen instances where they're getting handed cell phones, which in my eyes it makes sense because you can keep track of them wherever they're going. But they're gonna ditch them things in the trash the second they get gone. But that's taxpayer money going down the water at that point.
Mike Savage,
down the drain.
Thank you, Sports Bar. Thank you. Michael Savage. Yeah.
I remember listening to him late at night.
Yeah. He used to be like a late night guy, And
Bill Cooper was another one I used to listen to before they killed him. But
they killed. Is he like unalive?
Yeah, he got unalive by the sheriff over some taxes issue or some crap.
Damn.
He's the guy. I don't know. Behold the Pale Horse. He wrote the book. It's a conspiracy. He was the original Alex Jones. But his stuff, like if you read his book now, you'll be like, this dude's right on everything. Like, it's not the broken clock. Everything's right in that book. Like, holy shit.
It's like that in 1984. You're like, holy crap.
It's just like, it was like prophecy at that point. But Larry Elder, I don't remember Larry Elder.
Larry Elder, that name is familiar. I did not know that Mike Savage was still doing stuff on AM. Really?
AM? Really? He's got this old little ham set up in his house.
It was almost like, it's like Art Bell, doing his thing from the desert.
Liberalism is a mental disorder. Savage wrote a book like that. Well, that's an opinion.
That may or may not be true. I think the occult of liberal. I think politics in general, or it's like following a pop star or someone who's really just a popular person and just hanging on every word and whatever. That's just think for yourself.
Cultism, maybe. I don't know.
It would be, yeah. I think it would be cult. I think you would say cult because there's right-leaning cults, left-leaning cults, religious cults. Just folks that just do stuff in oh God, I've got a story. My last story, my final story tonight, I thought it was going to be just a fun story to end the show on, is another cult following. And this is, pop stardom following the following of pop stardom. It's a cult, man. The fans, I guess you call them fans or followers. I guess the occult would be followers. There's fans. I'm a fan of Journey, but if Steve Perry came up there and says, "Hey, I want you to shave one of your eyebrows off," I'd be like, fucking kiss my ass. No, that's stupid. But a lot of people out there would say, Taylor Swift said everyone should get a nose ring or whatever. Whatever. I'm just throwing stuff out there. How many fans would do it?
I call it the lemming effect or whatever it is. It's like one person does something and everyone has to follow suit. That's. One lemon falls off the cliff, the rest of them follow with. I don't know. No individual thinkers nowadays. No one preaches. Go and read some philosophy, read some books.
Yeah, dude. If you want to fuck your brain up, read a bunch of philosophy books, and not just like read different philosophy books. Read a Nietzsche book and then read something completely different, and be like, "Whoa!"
Just scramble your brain a little bit. You'll be thinking weird shit for a couple weeks, and then you'll be like, "Oh, that makes sense now."
and then
the allegory of the cave is my favorite. And I tell everyone, if they have not read the allegory of the cave, read that shit, because 99% of you are in the cave and you don't realize it. But, I digress. We're getting off topic.
So anyway, just to end our last story, it appears, at least to me, that this administration has an open door policy regarding administration, at least on the southern border. I'm not sure what the Canadian border looks like. We have borders to the north and to the south. I very rarely, if ever, hear any drama coming off of the northern border. It's always the southern border.
I bet you could cross into Canada pretty easy if you wanted to.
So let's talk about Twitter. Now it's time for our Twitter story.
Twitter.
So I've got some info. Christopher Measle says it's fine up north. I don't think. I think it's.
They're dealing with the same shit we're dealing with right now.
Is the border at the north? Is it harder to pass? I don't think so. I think there's more trees. Easier. I think it's more trees, but I don't think
the whole border. If you don't know this, the whole border is like mowed down. Like they cut that down, like the borderline. You could see across it.
You can see across it, but it's like 80-foot tall trees on the north, 80-foot tall trees on the south.
And then it's like no man's land you got to cross, where there's the Mounties and the Border Patrol.
Right. Is it mined?
No.
Oh, damn. You know what's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. We had a radio show a talk show host down here in Dallas. His name was Russ Martin. He's passed, but he was interviewing Rick Perry when Rick Perry was the he wasn't the governor. He was like the lieutenant governor. And he said, one way to, they were well into the interview, and he said that one way to stop immigrants from coming across the Rio Grande was to fill the Rio Grande with piranhas. And Rick Perry hung up on him. That was the end of the interview.
I mean, there's countries around the world that they landmine their borders and they put snipers on their borders. I mean, we're a nice civilized country.
I say that flippantly, but damn, with the way things are going, shit. So let's talk about Twitter. Elon Musk said yesterday that Twitter is getting a new CEO and that he's going to move to a product and technical role. Musk said via Twitter that the new CEO would start in about 6 weeks. Onboarding, all that paperwork, insurance,
That picture you got up there right now has me fucked up so bad right now.
He added that he would transition to being executive chair and chief technical officer overseeing product, software, and I saw this and I'm like, PSYOP? No, systems operations. SYS ops. Systems operations.
But I saw PSYOPs too when I saw that. I was like, what?
So when that was said, when Musk said that, Tesla shares jumped 2%. They were sitting at about, I don't know, $165, $166 a share. They're up in the 170s now. So Linda Yaccarino, I have no idea if I'm saying her name right.
Yaka something.
It's Yaccarino?
I was supposed to listen to the Cat Turds podcast today, and he was having a hard time. He's like, Yaka what?
Yes, I think it's Yaccarino. Yaccarino? She's going to be the new Twitter CEO. She was an NBC Universal Advertising executive.
Elon Minks? Oh, no.
Elon Minks. Holy shit, who said that? Oh my God, that's awesome. That is perfect. I love that.
And at that point, I'm done for the night. See you, ladies. Have a good night.
We're done. Thank you for tuning in. My name is KOZ, and oh God, oh Jesus, that is fucking perfect, dude. I'm saving that shit. But yeah, she's taken over, and this is a title. This is, of course, it's not a picture of her. That's like a
no. It's Elon Musk's face put on a woman. You freaks.
Yeah,
that's why when I saw it, it had me fucked up for a minute. I was like, would I?
But she doesn't look much different than that. I mean, she does have dark hair. But her name is Linda Yaccarino. But everyone asks me, my father-in-law my ex-father-in-law. He's an extremely smart guy, and he asked me, "What do you do for a living?" And I say, "Well, I'm an engineering technician." He goes, "No, but what do you do?" He's high up or he was high up in IBM before he retired. He's like, "No, I didn't ask you what your title was. What do you do?" So I told him, and that kind of stuck with me. What does she do? What is her pedigree? I have no idea. I mean, she worked for
World Economic Forum. She was a member of the World Economic Forum for a couple years. NBC, I think.
NBC Universal, yeah.
And she's been flopped around a little bit. No, I don't know why Elon picked her out of all the other people he could have picked. But
I think the reason why he picked her isn't because she's a woman, but she's got experience dealing with marketing and advertising. And I think that Twitter has been hit hard with the loss of advertisers. And I think that the reason why she's been brought on board is to bring advertisers back. I mean, because it's like for any news organization, the only money that they make is from advertising revenue. So Twitter's not going to survive without advertising revenue.
Its subscription base is doing pretty good right now, from what I understand.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know how much. I mean, what does it cost to advertise on Twitter if you're Eli Lilly or another big corporation, or it doesn't matter what you do.
Apple's big on there. Seen Ford, Budweiser's been really pushing ads on Twitter, but they have to keep pulling them because people keep ratioing the shit out of them.
Are you kidding me? Really? Anything from Budweiser? They try to. Oh, this is the Dylan Mulvaney blowback.
Yes, it's still going on. Like, what the? Oh, that's a different story I don't want to get into. I'm not going to derail this. We stick with Twitter, but it's funny when anytime that Anheuser-Busch pushes an ad on Twitter, it just gets nuked.
Sports Bar says that Linda was in charge of the Peacock app development and launch.
Yeah, that's it. And that's NBC, right?
Yeah, NBC is the Peacock.
Yeah, didn't that fail?
I don't know. I have no idea. Yes, KOZ is in the house. Musa, what's up, brother?
Yeah, I thought that failed. The only thing that freaks me out is the whole World Economic Forum ties. And, I've seen videos of her running around saying some stuff, and some of her opinions is like, okay, well, Elon, you tried to do, Twitter 2.0 was great, but with her coming in, it's you're going to kill 2.0 and go straight back to what it was originally.
You think they'll go back? You think they'll revert? Because I know there was a lot of talk about, okay, shadow banning is coming back.
Peacock is still around. All right, I thought there was one. It was CNN that did it. It failed overnight. Oh, that's the one I was thinking about. Never mind. Thanks for the correction there, Frank. Good thing we got audience to help keep us in line.
I mean, we're just the dudes up here pressing the buttons. The brains are in the audience. I'm more than willing to take a correction if we say something all fucked up.
How to chip pine wood? What are you talking about?
Throwing a chipper. Why? Is your wife still around? It's like on Reddit, dude. I get into conversations with
do I recommend a good wood chipper?
No.
Yeah, I can actually recommend a good wood chipper.
Husqvarna.
Get one. No, go get one at a rental place, probably about 100 miles from your house. Takes cash. No questions asked. God, it'll do what you need to do.
What was that? The guy painted his wood chipper red or something, and it looked like a fucking blood splattered mess.
Yeah. So I'd just throw a red paint can in there just to fuck with you.
It'll take it. Oh. What is that? Asplunda. I never knew how to pronounce that. Asplunda. They're the team that goes around and chops all the wood around here.
I just got me a shitty Poland chainsaw.
Dude, I've got one of those stupid plug-in.
Oh, you got one of those electric ones?
Electric ones. I don't have a lot of trees. Actually, I have no trees. I have my neighbor's trees. I enjoy my neighbor's trees.
Forget it. I have pine wood. Forget it. I'm so confused now. I need to know more about what Moose is doing.
Get a bunch of woodchucks. How much?
How much woodchuck of woodchuck could chuck wood?
Yes.
Yeah.
A woodchuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Yeah. Touche.
I couldn't say that last week. So yeah, Twitter's changing again. We'll see what's going on with Twitter. But in the meantime, I guess
I have faith. I don't think Elon will let her go too crazy.
No, but I think it's a good thing that he's stepping down because he's not paying it. It's like he can sit in his office either in California or Texas or wherever or on his plane, and he's probably going to be on Twitter 99% of that time. With him not divesting himself.
Zero. This new CEO they announced had almost zero Twitter presence before her name was announced, and then all of a sudden it was like 1,000 followers to almost 250. I don't know what it's at now. Last I checked, it was like
do Twitter users with a large following, do they earn money from Twitter like YouTube, like YouTubers do?
They started a subscription service where you can set up like it's kind of like Patreon. You pay, you get premium content. I know one of my favorite tweeters is the best way to put it. The redheaded libertarian. She makes pie videos, like gourmet pie videos. I don't subscribe to it because I could care less about some gourmet pies. But hey, some people want to watch gourmet pies. So I mean, it's just like TikTok, but better. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's different. It's not. I don't think there's anything better than Twitter or TikTok or YouTube. It's just different. There's a different
social
audience.
Media platform is Discord by far. There's no marketing on there, and if they try to market on your own personal channel, they'll figure a way to do it. But right now, it's perfect. Like someone comes in there and starts spitting, like, "Hey, you want to buy this?" You just ban them from your server. Get out of here, you fool!
So basically, as a Discord creator, it doesn't matter what you do, whether you game or you talk or do whatever. Do you pay Discord a fee?
No. Well, no, they have the Nitro. No, they have Nitro package now where it's like I don't know how many Discords I'm in. I'm probably in like 400 Discords. But there's a Nitro package for your server where you can pay it's like little things that upgrade. Like if you personally pay for, like you yourself pay for the Nitro service, you can stream 1080 whatever.
Oh, you just have a better streaming quality.
You get better streaming quality, and then if you're like the server admin and you pay for the thing, like better uploads, you can only upload so much, small, like 5 megabyte images.
So when they advertise, are you pushed up like maybe closer to the top?
I haven't seen a single freaking advertisement yet. They've
not advertised, but when you get on Discord, or maybe I'm looking. What are we on? We're on Twitch. Hello,
we're on Twitch.
Hello,
Twitch.
Twitch.
Discord. Yeah, Twitch and Discord. I'm the only one watching right now on Twitch.
Okay. I mean,
because I can see all the streams in there. It's the beautiful part about it. I can see everyone talking of all of our 50 million platforms. What are we on again?
There's like 8. Lance DD says his balls itch.
They make a cream for that.
Yes, they do.
And
have you recently shaved? That might be why. So,
I'm sorry.
Are you okay?
I've got like 2 brains, right? So one was like, all right, well, put some cream on it. The other brain was like, that's funny as shit. A little bit slower than the other one.
Understood. There is no sound, but there is.
I hear the sound.
Sorry, Ma. There is sound.
Maybe not on YouTube.
Actually, I was watching.
That's YouTube. I gotta check YouTube now. Hold on.
Where is the? There is sound. Okay, Branko is on YouTube. He says there is sound. Hit the mute button. I think the mute button, that little thing looks like a speaker. If there's no sound, he can't hear this. So I'm trying. Yeah, unmute, bro. Do you even unmute? Hit the speaker. He can't. KOZ, your stream has no sound on YouTube. I have no idea how
crazy.
come.
Look that up.
I was watching. Let me see. I was watching Sergeant's Time last night on YouTube, and there was like no lag at all. It was great. That show was awesome. We had Joshua on. The drag queen from the Navy. It was awesome, man. It was a really, really good show. Couldn't catch all of it, so I didn't see all of the content, but it was super awesome. Anyway, let's talk about something else that's happening in the news a little bit. This is kind of weird for me because, and we talked about the writers' strike. So
There's
now
sound on YouTube.
Say what? There's sound on YouTube?
There is sound. I'm hearing sound on YouTube.
Okay. All right.
Someone's lying.
Someone's lying. It's a user interface thing. Media companies seem to be using the writer's strike to thin the herd a little bit. Across Showtime, MTV, and Paramount, 25% of the workforce will be affected. MTV News, which went through an employee purge about 5 years ago, will be shutting down altogether. The last part is news to me. I honestly thought MTV as a whole collapsed years ago. I really didn't know that MTV was a thing. I think that there was like a shell of the company, and they were just playing Beavis and Butthead reruns and reality show reruns.
They had ridiculous. What Rob Dyrdek was kind of floating at for a while, but I don't. You had your Jersey. Was it Jersey Shore on MTV?
Yeah, probably was. Yeah, that
reality
that sounds...
TV shit. The reality TV shit is what fucking put the fucking final nail in the coffin at MTV. They should have went away from that shit as quick as possible.
So I was an MTV kid. We never had cable growing up, but all my friends did. So we would always go to their house and watch videos and stuff. It really used to be a great platform. It introduced me to a lot of other music and genres of music that I wouldn't have listened to otherwise. I was always there for Headbangers Ball. Even when I grew up, I had a cable subscription in the barracks. Friday night was always, Headbangers Ball.
You a metalhead.
Then they get, dude, the first Iron Maiden video I saw, of course that was Iron Maiden. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they got away from music and started doing reality shows, and I quit watching also.
That was all about the music. I remember, was it TLC? Not TLC. The request thing that they would do. You had like Rammstein was number one for a while. Like Korn was like number one for a while. Like there was like this Limp Bizkit and like all these, and all of a sudden it just went downhill from there. After that,
so when MTV stopped really being a music channel, and it was it was more of like an entertainment channel, and it was like a crappy entertainment channel, or it turned into a crappy entertainment channel. I went to VH1, and I got hooked on pop-up videos.
Oh yeah, that was cool as hell. I remember that. Bloop.
I loved it. I loved it because I learned
weird info.
I've learned most of my useless information about bands from pop-up videos on VH1.
Yes.
I know I'm not the only one.
Did you know that during this show, someone dropped the penny and almost died?
Yeah, right.
Like dumb, like what? Really?
It's like, holy crap! This is great information. This is totally useless information that will get me nowhere in life. But they could be great conversation starters. I know, Holly. They were very informative.
Exactly. Patrick's right about that. I think they created MTV2, which was supposed to only be music, but was quickly changed. It should have been MTV2 showed the reality TV, and MTV should have stuck with the music, because music videos are a huge thing now. Back then, like huge production costs, like what, millions of dollars to produce a 3-minute music video.
Yeah, you had Keith Loader was on there, but what was her name? What was Kennedy? Kennedy was a broadcaster on MTV. Now she's on one of the networks, Fox or CNN or something like that. She's actually like a legit reporter now, or host. Hey, Ma can hear us.
The reality TV. I really think reality TV is what put the reason why there's so many idiots walking around right now is because of reality television.
So hey, for all you Marines out there, I've got a public service announcement. Public service announcement for Marines. I don't speak in crayon, so you're going to have to pay attention to my words now that the audio is working on YouTube. We can continue. Marine units must once again conduct random breathalyzer tests on assigned troops, following a year-long pause in the program because of the spicy flu. Emergency policies necessitated a halt to the practice, but as of now, breathalyzers are back on the menu, boys.
From what I've said, it's a normal thing. Like when you get a UA, you get a breathalyzer too.
A randomly selected a tenth of each unit will undergo the testing, known as the alcohol screening program, each month. This is in line with how the program ran prior to the pandemic. The purpose of the program is twofold: to deter drinking on or before the job, and to identify Marines who have a problem with alcohol misuse. Those who are found to have a blood alcohol content in excess, equal to, or in excess of 0.04 will get referred to counseling. I guess that's ADAPC or some shit like that. For reference, I did a little bit of math and some looking it up. For reference, generally a BAC of 0.08 is considered legally intoxicated. Your body metabolizes alcohol at a rate of 0.016% per hour, which means that if you quit drinking when your blood alcohol content is 0.10, you would need at least 4 hours of non-drinking time to have a blood alcohol content under 0.04. So if you're a 200 pound, and there's websites out there that have like calculators, like what's my BAC if I weigh this much and I drink this alcohol, and there is a list of alcohols that you could drink. But, you know, alcohol is alcohol. It doesn't matter what it is or who it is. It's actually really interesting. We could probably do an entire segment just on this. People throwing out, okay, Jameson. I'm drinking Jameson. I weigh 180 pounds and I'm, 6 foot. How much, how long until I'm sober? I mean, there's websites out there. So, yeah, so look out. I was in the Army, and I was on and off flight status, for like probably 6 of the 8 years that I was in the Army. I've never, ever, unless I was arrested, taken a breathalyzer. Is that a normal thing in the Marine Corps?
Yes, that from what I understand, it is a normal thing in the Marine Corps. I've seen guys, like first sergeant commander walks up and goes, "Oh, dude, you're going to." They take them to the provost marshal and breathalyze them. I've seen that, like guys coming in completely shit faced from still drinking till like I don't know 4 or 5 in the morning going to PT. But 4 hours. I had an NCO tell me, he's like, if you stop drinking at 10, doesn't matter how much you drank, you'll wake up in the morning and be all right.
I used to rationalize. I used to be a super heavy drinker. I mean, like every day. Every day I would, because especially when I was at Hood, I worked at a bar called, I can't remember the fucking name of it now, but I would get off of work, shit, shower, shave, eat dinner, go to the bar. I was a bar back, and I would run all the dart tournaments and pool tournaments and do things and stuff. And I would drink on the job every fucking day. Every day I drank. But I would rationalize, okay, I can have this many beers or this many shots, and then if I go to bed by, 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm good. I'm good for PT. And I kind of stuck to that. Now it's like I drink like 1 day a week, and that's tonight. And
I don't drink nearly what I used to. I used to be able to put down a freaking whole fifth of Jack Daniels every night or Jameson every night.
God, I could not. I've never been able to do that.
No, I don't. Like if I did that now, like if I was drinking Jameson right now, like 3 or 4 shots, you wouldn't even recognize me at this point. I turn into the pickle Rick guy.
I'm Pickle Rick.
You can watch it. There's a video floating around of me and Jay.
Oh no shit! Oh my gosh! Yes, I remember that one.
And he got me. I was like 4 of these drinks in. It was Jameson and like pickle juice, and it's like 100 degrees out. I'm sitting outside just drinking Jameson and pickle juice, and I am so shit faced. He's like, "All right, let's do like a pseudo podcast." It's like, all right, let's do this.
In the second half of the podcast, you're just like gonna lean back in the chair.
Yeah, that was not good. I was not good.
Yeah, I mean, drinking used to be like a recreational sport for me. It's just, but yeah, I mean, I guess Marine Corps, look out. But you can go out. I mean, for a 200-pound man, you can go out and drink a fucking 12-pack of beer, and as long as you have about 6 hours to recover, you're good. At least to be under that 0.04.
Thanks for the subscription to the channel, there, Ma. M.A.
That's Musa. That's Musa's YouTube. M.A.
Oh.
All right. Hey, we've got some more Marine news. We're going to talk about Daniel Penny, the 24-year-old accused, or he turned himself in for prosecution in Manhattan for killing that dude with a chokehold or whatever. But we're going to talk about that. Yeah, it's tough to talk about, but you got to talk about it. We got to take a break because my bladder's full. I'm sure Pookie's bladder's full. And if anybody else would like to join us, I would love that, because we've got a whole other hour left in this show, and we're going to take a break right now. We hope that you come back, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Shots.
I can feel this in my ears. What is happening?
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio.
But here's a little side note. I hope you're capable of showing no sympathy to me, cause this pain's unfadable. I took that man's life with my own eyes and seen him die with my own hand. Situations you or I, Army voluntary suicide. For the mission, lost my wife, cause my mind's a blurry vision. Fuck it, who am I? Millions of people die cause of fucking religion. Fuck your God, fuck the flock, and most of all, motherfuckers children. That blast blew me on my ass, I cried.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
And we are back for part 2 of Friday Night Freedom. A little bit of Seven Nation Army for everybody. I kind of love this a lot. Slide guitar, Seven Nation Army. Hoo-hoo! White Stripes. This showed up on we talked about the White Stripes last week. We were talking about weird rock and roll news that seemed fake, but was actually true. And the White Stripes popped up on there. Because they popped up as a brother and sister group, but they were actually divorcees of each other. They were
yes,
ex-husband and ex-wife.
Yeah, I thought they were brother and sister too, but then I read into them. I was like, oh, they're just divorced couple. But I still think my favorite music video from them was the Lego one.
Yep,
I fell in love with the girl.
They're freaking talented. Jack White is still doing stuff.
You saw the band, the Recounters or something like that.
Yeah, the Recounters.
Yeah, he's got that blue. He's got that hardcore blues sound, which I love. That shit.
That dude, he's got a lot of videos where he makes an instrument out of anything. He'll make a guitar out of anything. They give him like here's a broomstick and some wire, and you know he'll like wire up a
shovel or some shit.
Yeah, it's like a shovel, and he wires up a pickup to it, and he plays like an entire song, and it sounds great. Very talented, man. Anyway, so we're back for part 2 of Friday Night Freedom. My name is KOZ. That's Pookie. Did I say that? I did it the right way. I pointed the right way. That's Pookie. In the bubble of doom. I keep talking about redoing your bubble.
We'll figure something out one day.
Yeah. Maybe a trapezoid of doom or a pentagon a pentagon of doom.
It's funny. The funny part about it is I went down to Florida with CQ to the convention down there, the Wasabi Con.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, you're more than welcome. I was showing him every time. I was like, you're not sticking me in a bubble. And now I'm in a bubble.
That's funny. Maybe a pentagon of doom. Maybe I'll put you in a pentagon of doom just because of reasons. Yeah. Even Moose is like, the pentagon of doom is nice. So let's talk about our Marine down in Manhattan getting hemmed up on charges. So this is a crazy story. This is a crazy story, and I think it's driven mostly by the media, and that's just my opinion. So here's the story. On May 1st of this year, Daniel Penny, a 24-year-old Marine veteran and college student, was riding on the northbound F train between Manhattan and downtown Brooklyn. There was a ruckus on the train. Jordan Neely, age 30, was the ruckus in question. Neely was pacing back and forth in the cab and threatening the other passengers. So rather than pull out his phone and video the disturbance, Penny put his own well-being at risk to protect himself and his fellow passengers. He tackled Neely and put him in a chokehold. Neely subsequently died, and now, according to the Manhattan DA's office, Penny will be charged with second-degree manslaughter. Okay.
I've got so many.
They were on the ground for 15 minutes, and he was in a chokehold for 15 minutes. I'm sure it wasn't tight like that, like you're seeing, for 15 minutes. But the guy died. There's no two ways about that. Second-degree manslaughter is a Class B felony for causing the death of another person through criminal negligence and has a maximum sentence of 10 years imprisonment and $20,000 in fines. So, what do you think about this? Did you see the video?
I saw bits and pieces of it. I didn't really get into it because me, I like to research a little bit more, and I go into like backgrounds of people and stuff like that, and 40 plus previous convictions of insanity. Dude,
the kid was a mess, and
yes.
I say kid, he's a 30-year-old man. It's not like he was a teenager.
He had mental issues that should have been addressed by the state. The state had plenty of time to do it. They just kept, just like back to the street, back to the street, back to the street, back to the street.
New York State has some of it's like the worst, the absolute worst track record for mental health.
Well, if anyone should be being charged for manslaughter, it should have been the judges that let him loose the last time, because I've seen videos of this guy assaulting women in the streets with his, I guess he was a cosplayer, Michael Jackson cosplayer, doing his Michael Jackson thing.
He did a Michael Jackson impersonation in the street.
But there's videos of him just straight up losing his shit on people in the middle of the street.
So he entered the train and just started screaming at folks, saying that he's hungry, he doesn't have any food, he has nothing. The guy had a place to go to. He had a home, and he had a roof over his head, but he was trying to make money doing, I guess he had this side gig, doing things and stuff, and he was at a breaking point, or a point that he had gotten to a lot because of his mental state. And he just started, he threw his jacket down. And he goes, "Look, I got nothing." And then he was tackled by Penny and put in a chokehold, and the rest is history. Penny's being charged with second-degree manslaughter. I'm not sure that that's the right thing. In my opinion, because of the public outcry, the DA is being forced to do something. I can't imagine a grand jury would indict. If this ever went to a grand jury, I don't think they would ever indict him.
This is a New York grand jury.
Yeah, I know it's New York. It seems to me, I'm not a lawyer. It seems to me to be a case of self-defense. And I think that the more that police remain either unable or unwilling to act, citizens are going to be able, or are going to fight back and take care of business themselves.
So I do a lot of TikTok, and someone was posting something about this, and this is why Batman wore a mask.
So what happened at the end of the video? Did he just run away and go to class or go home, or?
Who knows at that point? I mean, I like I said, I seen bits and pieces of the video. I can't commit myself to watch a whole video like that.
It sucks. It really does.
Like, there's a point where I'm like, yeah, it might be I can agree it might have been excessive. I can agree with that, but charging him, and the poor guy should have not been on the streets in the first place. If he 40 plus criminal charges about assault and things like that, no, he should have been sitting in a mental institution somewhere.
So
getting help.
So rather than pull out a phone to video the shit, he took matters into his own hands and protected himself and the other passengers. The guy's threatening other passengers, so he was subdued.
What was that video that floated around? What, in the 90s? Was it the 90s or maybe early 2000s? Of the guy who had the gun on the subway, and the guy wrestled him down, and he didn't have to, but he did it, and
the difference is made is when normal citizens do things. I mean, you can't wait for a cop. You can't wait for a security person from the subway when you're in between stations to do something. If there's a threat, you gotta take it out.
Oh, I mean,
there's a video. There's videos of this altercation out there. I think they're slowly disappearing. But the guy who Penny choked out was not a stranger to law enforcement at all. And he had not been a stranger to mental institutions. But I watched a news conference today. talking with these two guys. I guess maybe they were lawyers for the deceased, but they were saying, he took his jacket off and he was showing that he was not armed and he was not a threat, but he was still threatening people. And it's just a crazy situation. And maybe this is the New York thing. I tend to believe it's a New York thing, and this is. The reason why this is in the news is because it's in the media. It's in the media a lot, and they're just this poor guy that died is, I guess they got the upper hand because they're in the media all the time.
That's it. Like I said, it sucks when anyone dies that doesn't need to die. But back to my statement,
he didn't need to die. This is just a circumstance of what happened. This is the find out portion of the fuck around find out thing.
But I mean,
the longer
talk about mental health in this country. We always talk about we have a mental health problem, but no one wants to address the mental health problem. And when crap like this happens, all of a sudden, oh, he didn't deserve to die. He was a choir boy, blah, blah, blah. The whole fucking hoopla.
My boy never did nothing.
Yes, I've heard it 1,000 times, and you look at their criminal record, it was like, I'm sorry, he should have been either A, sitting in prison, or B, sitting in a mental institution getting some actual physical help for his issues.
That's absolutely true.
But I mean, mental health is so that's the key factor to all this is mental health has been ignored in this country for so long that now it's like clown world outside. You step outside and like you're just waiting for someone to come rolling up into your front yard with a little tiny wind up car and 40 people come jumping out, clown suits on, and I'd believe that more than most of the shit that's going on right now in the news and the media right now.
So on TikTok, are there any other opinions about this?
There was, but it kind of slipped. Like this,
it's kind of, is it fading away?
It kind of coincided with the whole, what was that? Texas had that really bad weekend there with the shooting
up in at the Allen Outlet Mall,
and then down Brownsville.
And they called that a white supremacist attack, but it was a Mexican dude.
No, that happened, and then the vehicle thing happened, and now it's the migrant border crisis. It's like the news cycle is on full train mode where it's just like plowing through everything that people are forgetting. Everything gets pigeonholed so quick. Excuse me.
Because there's more breaking news. This other thing happened in some other place.
Breaking news. I see that on Twitter all the time. Breaking. Like Israel is full blown fighting on the Gaza Strip right now, and no one's
like
about that.
Breaking news. 800, and I'm not exaggerating. 800 missiles have fallen in Israel, and they're retaliating. And Israel's the bad person.
Who is? War is fucking horrible. Like people, I'm surprised humans are still doing this shit.
It's for a reason. So
all gotta do it because of this or that or this or that. And it's like, all right, well, I'm just a peaceful guy here trying to grow some corn in my backyard, and I get freaking bombed by your bullshit.
So we're talking about self-defense, and I think this is a case of self-defense. But
could have been very, very easily.
But what about this other case? And these are my words. The justice system is so fucked right now. In New York, a man defending himself and others gets hemmed up on manslaughter charges. And in St. Louis, there's video evidence of Amber Booker taking out her pistol and firing shots during a street party last Saturday. The DA has the video. This is a still from the video. And she says that there's no evidence to support charging her or her male counterpart. There's fucking video of her taking. There was a fight. She pulled out a pistol, fired some shots, and the DA's like, "Nope, there's no evidence." I just think we're fucked as a society until shit comes in line, man. The laws are there for a reason. You need a DA that's gonna support the law, that's gonna enforce the law.
The pendulum swings, and when it swings, like it swung so far this time, it's about to break off the rock.
It's really hard. It swung hard.
And when it swings back, their jaws are gonna drop on the ground, like holy shit. No? But you see this all the time where I live, all the time. Like, dude will literally murder a person, and they've got him on first-degree murder charges. They post him on bond. He turns around and does it again. It happens all the time around here. And I'm like, you just violent crime. Why is
down here you get like an illegal immigrant that will be like arrested for a crime. Doesn't matter what it is, and then been deported, and then all of a sudden, months later, he's back. And then he does another crime, or she. There's no discrimination there. It's just things need to happen that are more permanent. I mean, getting punishment means you're going to stay in prison for a while. You're gonna do some bodily harm or hurt or murder somebody, dude. You're going to be in prison for a long time.
This is why I'm all about the Second Amendment. I'm all about the second. Everyone should be strapped with a pistol. Someone starts capping off for no reason, you get shot. You were stupid, boom, all right.
So let's talk about the Second Amendment.
It's a self-correcting issue at that point.
It really is. This is
an armed society. Is a play society.
Fuck around and find out is a
shit,
thing.
I didn't even know this was your next story, and I was just segued right into it.
Yeah. So a federal judge said on Wednesday that federal prohibitions on licensed dealers selling handguns to 18 to 20-year-olds are unconstitutional. U.S. District Judge Robert Payne of the Eastern District of Virginia said that under the test laid out by the Supreme Court's recent ruling, the federal regulation runs afoul of the Second Amendment. Because the statute, he says, quote, this is a quote from the judge, because the statutes and regulations in questions are not consistent with our nation's history and tradition, they, therefore, cannot stand. In his opinion, Payne concluded that 18 to 21-year-olds that are a part of the American political community, citing the age group's ability to vote and enlist in the military, and thus the age group fell under the Second Amendment protections. If the court were to exclude 18 to 21-year-olds from the Second Amendment protection, it would impose limitations on the Second Amendment that do not exist from other constitutional guarantees. So I do believe that the judge is right. You can't, especially like in Texas here, they're like, okay, you got to be 21 to buy a. It's always been 21 to buy a firearm, but it's 21 to buy a rifle now. It used to be like 18.
What?
Yeah.
You got to buy a long rifle at 18, regardless at that point.
But that changed after this Allen thing. There was a thing that was in the legislature and they passed it. It hasn't become law yet, but this judge chimed out, and this is talking about handguns and everything else. I think the judge is absolutely right.
You sort of walk around the woods at like 8, 9 years old, plucking squirrels out of the trees with my freaking 22 rifle.
So what I'm thinking is, if you're working on a farm, I used to work on a farm as a kid. I had a rifle. It wasn't my rifle.
Farmer's rifle.
It was a farmer's rifle.
But so if you see some fucked up shit, you fix the fucked up shit, right?
You see a fucked up, you see a damn rattlesnake, or there's coyotes, and that was my job, was to shoot coyotes.
Sounds like a fun job.
You fucking do it. You just ride a horse around the perimeter, and then you're popping coyotes.
Hunting rabbits with a 12 gauge. I mean, I was just like
so now you're not. All of a sudden, you're not supposed to do that.
No, apparently, a 12-year-old is not allowed to walk around the woods by himself with a 12 gauge and shoot rabbits. But
dude, yeah, I mean, BB guns. What is Walmart going to stop selling BB guns now?
Who knows?
My Walmart still sells BB guns, so I don't know if yours does.
Walmart still sells shotguns and bolt action rifles, but
not the assault rifles, right?
No semi-automatics. No.
Has anybody defined assault rifle or an assault weapon?
An assault weapon is a weapon that you use to assault a person with.
Okay, so a pencil.
A pencil, a hammer, a shovel, whatever.
Okay, cool.
It's only illegal if you get caught. I mean, shit, I lived in the mountains when I was a kid. Granddad would hand me a shotgun, go take care of something. Like, had a cat population that was out of control. He's like, go shoot some cats. You know, I didn't know any better, so bam, bam, bam. I would never do that now. Holy crap. Looking back, I like cats. You know, like, holy shit. Like, holy fuck, dude. I was a little savage when I was young, but...
We had a thing for frogs. I used to go to camps and stuff, and it was like hours away from the house and stuff. But we would just go and just, murder ass frogs. But that was it.
Copperheads. Go walk the property for copperheads with a 22 with some snake shot in it. You know, just smack, smack, smack. You know, that's the America that I grew up in. Now everyone's freaking out about an 18-year-old holding a pistol in his hand.
Okay, so we're talking about self-defense, right? We're going to be on the self-defense on the tip right here. Martial arts, mixed martial arts. Good to learn. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, or any of the other 78 genders. It's good to learn.
Physical self-defense, yeah.
It's good to learn Krav Maga, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whatever.
Aikido, even though people make fun of it, but that'll help you.
That's like gymnastics. That'll kick your ass.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still good. You know, learn how to shift body weight on the fly. You know, it'll help you out.
Judo is good.
Judo, yes.
So check this out. Facebook founder and media chief Mark Zuckerberg took his talents to the mats this past weekend to participate in his first grappling competition after he started training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's 38. The 38-year-old tech billionaire touted his gold and silver medals on Instagram and Facebook after testing himself against other competitors at the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Tour stop near Silicon Valley in California.
Oh, he's about to be red-pilled.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he does his thing. This is great. I think it's pretty awesome.
I'm down with it. I mean, I guess maybe he got sick of people calling him like a little pencil neck or android or some crap, and he's like, "I'm gonna show you fools. I'm gonna go beat someone's ass."
So this dude named Camarillo, I cut the text off, so I don't know what his full name is. Camarillo was his trainer, and he should be a familiar name to MMA fans after he was the lead Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu trainer for the American Kickboxing Academy after several years, after working with fighters like Josh Koscheck, Mike Swick, and John Fitch. Zuckerberg took up his interest in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu during the global pandemic. I'm sorry, I can't say that. The spicy flu. And he continued to train and to learn as a hobby. And then he put it to good use when he was in a grappling tournament. That's pretty awesome, and that's ballsy. I think it's ballsy.
No, I need to do it. He's my age, so I mean, shit. I need to go out there and start training. Let's do this.
Hell,
I don't have billions of dollars. I don't have billions of dollars to just quit doing everything I'm doing and just.
But after the reports came out, the memes started flying. So.
Oh, here we go. The community.
There's Zuckerberg putting the clamp down on whatever your post is. That's just awesome. I mean, good for Mark. I'm glad he's having fun. Zuckerberg versus Brock Lesnar. Is Brock Lesnar doing anything in MMA now?
No. Actually, no, I don't think. Yeah. You're only good for about like maybe 40 fights in your lifetime.
I know.
Before you get
and then you're just like, you're so broke.
Did like 2 or 3 fights and I'm broke.
It take me so long to just fucking recover from that. When my
fights.
I know.
It's like, hey, fuck you too, man. We're fighting. All right. Oh, I hurt the next day.
Oh, Heath Barlow said Zuckerberg versus Jelly Bean. I think you mean Butterbean.
Ooh.
Butterbean?
Butterbean.
Oh my gosh. Butterbean. I don't care how old he is. He's just going to fuck you up.
And he's going to fuck him up, man. Butterbean is unstoppable.
Who was that?
Man.
Who was that? Who was that brawler that did the, not bum fights, but he was a black dude, had the beard, and he just beat everyone's ass.
Kimbo
Slice. Yes. He died.
What? When?
He's dead. I think he's dead. Kimbo's dead. I think he died of like a heart attack or something.
I guess he did die. June 6, 2016 in Florida. Yeah. Dang, dude.
That was when you were there.
He's a big guy, man.
He is a big dude. He just kicked everyone's ass.
Let's see. His boxing record was 7 total, 7 wins, 6 by knockout. His mixed martial arts record was 8 total, 5 wins, 4 by a knockout, 1 by decision, 2 losses, 2 by knockout, 1 by no contest.
I guess no one tracks the street fighting record.
Yeah, they don't do that. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that.
Oh, someone fucking floated Harambe's name out there.
Oh, Harambe's Harambe Day is what I call it. It's coming up. I think it's 28th this month.
Of this month?
Of this month, I think. The day that he died. So Dicks Out for Harambe Day is what I want to call it. I think it's on a Saturday or a Sunday.
No, it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday. Maybe they'll talk about that on the sports bar.
Yeah. You got to do the Dicks Out for Harambe. Wish I still could have. I have a hat that says like that, but a hashtag. But it's not Dicks Out for Harambe. It's just abbreviated like DOH, whatever, you know. I used to wear it. What's that mean? It's like, oh, it's Dicks Out for Harambe.
Hashtag DOFH.
You know.
All right, like I guess we're gonna switch gears here because we're gonna talk about meteorites. Because I love space and things of space. Mm-hmm. A 22-pound rock that has been a metallic object believed to be a meteorite crashed through the roof of a central New Jersey home this week, smashing into a hardwood floor, and you can see the damage there, and bouncing around the bedroom. The family who owns the home discovered the black potato-sized rock in the corner, and it was still warm. Nobody was hurt, and there was no serious damage to the residence. The object measured about 4 by 6 inches, and it weighed about 4 pounds. Susie Kopp, who owns the house, they initially thought that someone had thrown a rock into a bedroom on Monday, but they soon realized that that wasn't the case. The family plans to meet with an astrophysicist who will further examine the object. If it's that small and it weighs 4 pounds, that's fucking iron. Kopp said the hazmat officials had responded to the home to check it out, along with her entire family, in case that they had been exposed to some kind of radioactive material, and all of those checks were negative. But this reminds me of another story that we told about a couple of years ago. A 22-pound rock, and this is what I just kind of started out with, was propping open a door in Michigan for decades. It turns out to be a valued meteorite, valued at about $100,000. The rock arrived on Earth about in the 1930s, according to its owner, who obtained it in 1988 when he bought the farm in Edmore, Michigan. While touring the property, the man spotted a rock propping open a door, and he asked the farmer what it was. The farmer said, "No, it's a meteorite, and it's a part of the property, and you can have it. It comes to the house." The farmer said it came down onto the property in the 30s, and it made a heck of a noise when it hit. In the morning, the farmer and his father found the crater and dug it out, and it was still warm. And the meteorite right now is still waiting for a permanent home. So what typically happens in these states is It's either sold or it's shown in a museum, or it's sold to collectors or sellers looking to make a profit. The Smithsonian and a mineral museum in Maine are considering purchasing the meteorite for display. According to the university, if the sale goes through, the man has agreed to give 10% of the sale to the local university for study of Earth and atmospheric sciences. So that's cool. I don't know what I'd do if it's like all of a sudden it's like, ba-doom, something hits my house. What the fuck was that? And Michigan has a really, really weird instant. If you look at meteorites and then Michigan on the internet, there's a lot of meteorite strikes in Michigan.
It's kind of weird. Let's see. Where's this lady from? The only known documented individual to be struck by a meteorite and also live.
Oh, God.
Ever hear that?
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Fowler Hoggins. It's 1920. She was born in 1920, but she got hit by.
You get fucking schwacked by a space rock and live.
She was sleeping. 1954, it fell through the sky in Alabama, and it split into 3 fragments, and one of them went through the roof and hit her on the side, and split her side open, but she wound up living from it.
Damn.
Well, that's crazy.
Have you ever wanted to go to Jamaica? Have you been to Jamaica?
No, and no.
You don't want to, and you never have.
Yep.
What if you kind of want to and you did, but you weren't supposed to?
I wanted to and wasn't supposed to? That sounds like border evasion.
A New Jersey woman who intended to visit Florida claims that a gate change caused her to go to Jamaica instead of Jacksonville.
What?
Gloucester County resident Beverly Ellis Hebard told the news that she regularly flies from Philadelphia to her second home in Jacksonville. She arrived at the gate for her November 6th flight that read PHL to JAX. She goes, I fly about once every 6 weeks. I pick, Frontier Airlines because I fly them so often. She asked the gate agent after she had checked in if she could use the restroom. When she came back, the flight was almost fully boarded, and then she was rushed to the plane. The gate agent said, quote, come on, give me your boarding pass. And I took about 10 steps, and then she said, are you Beverly Ellis Hebard? She says, you just took my boarding pass. You just checked me in. And then the gate agent said, yes. All right, let's go. And then she got on the plane. Once she was on the plane, the flight crew told her that the Jacksonville flight had a gate change and that their plane was en route to Jamaica. She laughed, and she said, wow, I would love going there, but I have a beach where I live. And then the flight attendant says, look at me, this plane is going to Jamaica. And I knew, and she said, I knew by the look on her face that she wasn't joking. Without a passport, Ellis was unable to leave the plane once it had landed. She remained on the jetway, which is still, I guess, considered U.S. soil. So they flew her ass to Jamaica. She thought she was getting on a plane to fucking Jacksonville, and she went to Jamaica.
It's hard. You said it's Frontier flight. I was supposed
to say,
that sounds like That sounds like something American Airlines would do to you.
Hebert is pronounced Aber. Aber. Oh, so she's Canadian. She's French.
Aber.
Was Ellis Aber. Sorry to mispronounce her name. That is disrespectful, and I will never do it again.
Won't be the first time, won't be the last time.
Nope. And Aber says, the only other bad thing that happened on her flight was when she went to take her right arm out. I don't even know how this happened. She says that she put her baggage in her carry-on baggage into that baggage sizer thing, and she scraped her arm. And she was sad because she scraped her arm.
Oh.
So to be lost in Australia, that kind of seems really bad. If I'm in Australia and I'm lost, and it's like fucking desert, I'm gonna die because that entire country wants to kill you.
I'm gonna die. No, I lived in Florida for a while, so I might be able to shrug that one off a little bit. But
so check this out. A woman named Lillian Ip was driving to visit with her family. She took a wrong turn trying to find the Dartmouth Dam, the largest and highest in Australia. She wound up on a dead-end road and then got stuck in the mud when she tried to turn around. The area was so remote that she had no cell phone service to call for help. Loved ones had alerted police, and she was late showing up for her visit, and that's about where that ended. She had only planned for a day trip, so she had few supplies. Just some snacks, some lollipops, and a bottle of wine that was supposed to be a gift for her mother. And she was about 60 miles from the nearest town, and she would not dare walk because she had a medical condition. Rescuers said that even if she had been in tip-top physical shape, staying put would have been the smart thing to do in that rough country. I've got the pin where she was found. If you're going to get lost and fucked up in Australia, that is like the place to be lost and fucked up.
That's like the rest of Australia is no man's land. She's like, all right, I might meet a person here in a couple minutes.
Someone's going to drive by, or I can find water, which is what I'm hung up on. She couldn't find water, so she survived on candy and wine. I think she was there for 2 days. The quote from the rescuers where she showed great common sense to stay with her car and not wander off into the bushland. Though she did not have water, she had wine, and it got her through. To get through the cold nights, she had a heater in her car which obviously had still gas in it. A helicopter scanning the area happened upon her, and she was waving ecstatically for help. She was in the bushland and next to a dam and a reservoir. She couldn't find water? Something tells me she couldn't find water if she fell out of a boat. Dude, you're around a bunch of fucking trees and stuff. They need, there's water. Maybe that's the military in me speaking out, but...
If you dig deep enough, you can find water almost anywhere.
Right?
Unless you're in like the Sahara Desert where you got to dig like 20,000 feet down to get past the sand to find a water
you
bed.
got to dig all the way to the other side of the earth to find water.
I figure like living in Australia, like bush survival would be like a class that would have to take, like kind of like
I would like to pull up like a population index of Australia, and I'm sure you're either in Perth, Brisbane, Sydney, all that shit in the Sydney, all that crap in the middle.
Sydney and Perth, yeah. That's the most. I mean, there's people living out there, but those are like my kinfolk, kind of like hillbillies, like we'll do whatever the hell we want out here, like. Appalachians living in holes, like I don't know, man.
But I mean,
describe that.
But you have ways to support yourself or to live, and then I mean, Holly says Dr. Pepper is life. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 30 days without food. That's the standard. So we were talking about
a long time without food.
I get pretty cranky. If I had to go without food, I could probably survive. But yeah, you got to have water.
Water
is
my
water.
big thing.
Got to have water.
Constantly chug water.
Lance says the middle is open area to any man with the best shot. That's like a big ass desert surrounded by coastal good things. Have you ever been to Australia? I'd love to go there just to visit.
So I missed out. Like, I had that opportunity on my first deployment. Like, hey, you can go to these countries, go wherever you want to. And I was like, oh,
you always put that on your dream sheet, and then it never happens. Hey, I want to go to Germany. Okay, great. Best I can do is Korea.
No, this was for my 2 weeks of R&R coming. So I could have either hit. I think what it was is I could have either gone to Ireland or Australia for 2 weeks of R&R.
Oh.
I went back to the States and just had a shitty fucking goddamn 2 weeks. Should have went to Australia.
Australia is where Satan keeps his pets.
Yeah, well.
So let's talk about we were talking about cults earlier and things and stuff. What about crazy fans?
That's like borderline cult.
So does anybody have $10,000 burning in their pocket, wanting to get out? You just want to spend $10,000?
No.
An entrepreneurial Taylor Swift fan, and I've talked about Taylor Swift like probably at least 3 out of the 5 the last shows that I've had. I wasn't planning on that. But an entrepreneurial Taylor Swift fan has something that you might want: a lightly used contact lens. The fan took to a digital e-commerce platform called Depop to sell the contact lenses that she said that she wore to a Taylor Swift Eras tour. And her pitch was, these contact lenses have seen Taylor Swift. The listing on the digital marketplace explained that the contact lenses are, quote, used, but are in excellent condition. If this listing is still up, I don't think it will be for long. I think it's pretty nasty. How many Taylor Swift fans would be like, oh, hell yeah, here, have $10,000. I just spent $10,000 on a ticket. Or, her fans would spend $10,000 on a ticket, I don't get it.
I'm dead ass honest with you. I could be just like chilling at like a gas station, and Taylor Swift could walk up next to me, and I wouldn't even notice.
Would I notice?
No.
I would say, okay, she's cute, and then that would be it.
I wouldn't even notice. I was just like, all right, random other person walking around, like I could just be doing whatever, Well, do you not know who I am? No, I don't know you.
Get the fuck, pump gas or get the fuck out of the way.
Get out of my way. Goddamn, I got things to do.
You're so rude. But having kids that were Taylor Swift fans, I would probably recognize her.
It's like Molly Cyrus. What? Who?
Have you seen all the videos where like, the journey is so much better than... Those are so fucking awesome.
She sounds like me when I've been drinking all night, smoked 2 packs of cigarettes, and that's so great.
Definitely a at least a 2-pack a day Camel no filter.
Oh,
the journey is so much better than the destination.
I'll get you, Slisky, or whatever. From
what's it? Monsters Inc.
I'm watching you, Wazowski.
I'm watching you, always watching.
Always watching.
She likes beards, but yeah, so do a lot of other women that don't have all that attention. That I don't. All attention is bad attention in my eyes. Just leave me alone. I would never want to date someone like that.
Pip says, I have contacts that saw Obama. $50,000. I know what I got.
Can I sell my eyeballs? These eyeballs seen some shit.
You know what? I wouldn't want to see some of the shit that some of our brothers have. All right, so I guess this kind of wraps up our show. Don't forget to tune into the Sports Bar on Sunday. They're going to talk about some stuff. I mean, with all the all these tournaments going on, man, with hockey and baseball. Hockey
all
is
sports balls. Sports balls. That's what Spanky. What's Spanky call it? Sports balls.
Sports balls. Ball sport.
I don't know what she calls it.
She just likes balls. She doesn't like balls. I don't know. She just likes to talk about balls and prints and things. So anyway, the sports balls are happening on Sunday. Monday is the Monday edition. Pop Culture Warrior is going to be on Tuesday with our special guest Vanessa Marshall. Wednesday is going to happen this Wednesday with Radar and TZ. Starting time happens on Thursday, and this is Friday Night Freedom. And we're not going to be on next week, but we'll be on the following week, and we're going to do an alternating week type thing. So, Pookie, do you got any cool ass insights and parting words for our lovely audience?
Yeah, like I always say, don't drink, drive, don't beat your spouse, don't kick a dog, and taxation is theft, and don't ever fly American Airlines. And y'all have a great rest of the weekend.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. We love you all, and we're going to be out, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. But don't forget about Sunday show. We're out. Bye.
I can feel this in my ears. What is happening?
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
My friend came to the door. She said, well, I was on the phone cooking me and my baby some breakfast. And she said, hey, something wrong. It's popping. I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, no. So the girl come downstairs. She come out her apartment with her baby with no shoes on. I said, oh, girl, it's cold outside. She said, something ain't right. I said, oh, man. She said, oh, man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Let's see it.